Well, good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year. And I hope this is your best year yet. Today, we've got several things on the slate. We're going to do, this is our end of year video, even though it's at the beginning of the year. We're going to do the gold totals that we got last year. We're going to clean up our black sand. We're going to run it through the tumbler, clean that up from all the black sand we accumulated last year. I have my can full of dirt that I've collected every time I went out. When I came home, I dumped out my pockets, I dumped the dirt out, my backpack, basically all the dirt I drug home mining. Instead of throwing it in the washing machine, I dumped the majority of it out and threw it in a jar. We're going to pan that out, see if there's any gold in there. And then last but not least, we're going to weigh the lead that we found this year, just see how much lead we pulled out of the system. Okay, well, the first thing we're going to do is I'm going to gather up the black sand, dump that in a tumbler, get that going. Then we'll come back and work on the gold from last year. This is our black sand we got to work. And I don't know how well it's showing it, but this is our jar of dirt. We're going to pan this out. And right now, I'm going to clean the backpack out one last time. And that's going to go in this. And we'll pan it all out. We're going to turn this over and get whatever we can out of it. I wonder how long I've been packing that around. We're going to dump out the bag to keep the tools in. And I wonder why my room's always dusty. Never ceases to amaze me the amount of dirt I bring out of the hills every time I come home. Okay, we'll dump this in with the rest and take it out and pan it. Okay, I got everything set up, ready to go. We're going to do the panning first. And just as a side note, it's the middle of winter, short sleeve shirt. It's one of the big reasons why I tolerate California, that and the gold. Okay, let's do some panning. Now I went ahead and washed all the leaves and all that stuff out. And I'm kind of wondering about this. I don't remember picking this up, and I'm thinking this might be Jeff just putting rocks in my backpack. Okay, now this is all the dirt that we packed home from the hills. See if there's anything in it. A lot more iron. Okay, it's far enough. Let's see how we did. Well, we got a nice little spread of fine gold in there. One almost a flake, but quite a few little pieces in there. Well, the good news is I found gold today. So that, I'm going to just dump that in with the rest of the stuff. I may go back, matter of fact, I'm sure, I'm going to go back, I'm going to repan that, and then all that black sand that was clumped together, I'm going to throw that in the tumbler and rework that also. Okay, let me get that ready to go. I got that pan back down to just the black sand. We're going to dump that in there. Now I have, I don't know, tablespoon or so of nitric acid and water in the tumbler. Now this is all our black sand. We know we got gold in this. This is the 50 mesh and smaller stuff. Dump that in there. Throw the lid on. And turn her on. Well, that's running. Let's head on in where our gold and our lead that we found this last year. Well, we are in where I do my shipping because my scale I weigh my gold on will not handle the weight of this lead. Let's put that on there. Hit tear. Alright, let's see how we did on the lead. 3 pounds and a half ounce of lead this year. That's not too shabby. That's the lead that we took out of the system this year. You know, this is one thing that's always kind of cracked me up is, I don't know about elsewhere, but here in California, the environmentalists, they spend a lot of time bad-mouthing us miners. We're the only ones that are actually doing something about cleaning up the rivers. Okay, we're going to pretty much do this like we did last year. I got all the bags out. There's 34 bags of gold that I got last year. So I have 34 empty bags, and we'll put those on the scale, tear the scale out, and then weigh our gold. That way we don't have to dump it all in one pile, because I still haven't finished logging the year before's gold in, let alone this last year. So I'm a bit behind on my note keeping. Okay, the first thing we're going to do, I'm going to use that little tray to help make sure it's not laying on the scale. Okay, we are tear it out. We'll get rid of the bags. Okay, let me check, make sure nothing's touching. So it looks like 95.73 grams. One thing I wanted to clarify real quick was there's more bags there than videos I posted this year. And the reason for that is if I go way back in with a bad hike, I don't take the camera. I don't shoot a video. Or like if I go out with Bennett, I can't keep up with them, let alone try to shoot a video and keep up with them. So this included all the gold I found this year, not just the gold in the videos. I almost forgot my best day. This year, it looks like my best day was 11.24 grams, or I just went through the bags and this has got the most. And that's like 7 pennyweight, so a little over quarter ounce, so not a bad day. It's been a little over 2 hours now, so we need to open this up, see how dirty the water is, if we need to clean the water. Yeah, it looks pretty dirty. Looks like we need to clean it up. Looks like the material underneath is getting pretty clean though. Okay, well, I'm going to put some clean water in here and we'll run a little more, see if we need to, see if we're ready yet or not. Being it's winter, the water I'm putting in here is warm water. It's hot water because that'll speed everything up during the winter. During the summer, you don't have to worry about that. Okay, let's turn her on. Let her run for another hour or so and see how it looks. Okay, it's been another hour and a half, so let's see how we're doing. But the water is nowhere near as dirty. At this point, we're going to put in just a few drops of nitric acid just to help keep the mercury clean. And then we're going to add just a little bit of mercury. Okay. Put it back together and fire up. And we'll let that run for another hour or so. The wind is starting to blow and it's starting to get really cold. We're getting a few clouds showing up. But I think it's time, so let's shut it off, take a look. Well, the water's still clean, so that's good. Now we'll go ahead and pull the bowl off. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is run everything through the 10 mesh. You can sure see that mercury. Okay, let's see if we got anything in the 10 mesh, and we do. So we'll dump that out, see what we got. And it looks like We have some mercury hanging on to some gold here, so let's take it over and pan it. Having all the gold trapped by the mercury really makes a difference. Well, we got one big chunk of amalgam here. There's a piece of gold right there stuck to the amalgam. And that pretty much looks like it. Okay, now we're going to do the 20 mash. Now for those of you who are concerned about me not wearing gloves, no cuts. Liquid mercury is real hard for the body to pick up, as long as you don't have any cuts or anything. It's when it's in a gaseous form, that's when it's very dangerous. Well, we got lots of little pieces of mercury in here. Now we got to be real careful we don't have mercury roll out. Pretty good ball of amalgam here. I don't want to take a chance of that rolling out. Okay. Now we can finish panning this down. Now let's pan out the fine stuff. I think we might be doing this in a couple of pans. Now with the mercury, it makes it much quicker to pan it out because theoretically all our gold's attached to that mercury. Okay, we got that pan down to just a ball of amalgam, so I'll put that in with the rest. Okay, now we'll pan out the other half. Okay, we got her down to a pretty solid little ball of amalgam there, so we'll pour that off and then finish cleaning up panning. Now I got a bit of a problem. We're ready to burn that off. We're ready to put that mercury into solution to get our gold, but it's dropped 15 degrees. It's freezing out here now. And so I'm not sure, and you got to do this outside because of the fumes. So this may take a while. Now I have the nitric acid in the house and the heater on, so it'll be nice and warm. And the problem is though, it's cold out here, so it's going to cool off quick. So hopefully we can get this done before dark. Oh, and one more thing. When I was panning out, I did see, not a lot, but enough small pieces of gold that did not get picked up by the mercury. So what I'm going to do is when I'm all done here, I'm going to put everything back in the tumbler and I'm going to let it run all night and see if we pick up a little more that way. And if I do, I'll let you know. Okay, we got our chamois spread out over a clean pan, and we're going to pour our mercury right in the middle of that. Okay, now we will squeeze all the mercury out of there. Get rid of all the free mercury anyway. Now when you do this, you want to make sure it's underwater so your mercury doesn't go flying. Okay, I don't know if you can see it or not, but our free mercury is coming out and going to the bottom of the pan. Here we have our free mercury that we squeezed out of the chamois. This, we can just go ahead and put it back in the bottle and it's ready to go for next time. Okay, I'm gonna put this on an angle so the acid will all stay down at one end. Okay, we're going to let that work and get out of here. the next day. Bet you didn't see that coming. Well, it ended up so late. It took that mercury quite a while to get into solution. And by the time I got it completely in solution, I called it good for the day. And then this morning, we went ahead, cleaned everything up, and then I also ran that everything again all night, pulled that out, got that cleaned up, and we recovered a little more gold out of there, but not much. So let's jump over here and we'll show you the gold and weigh it up, see how we did. Now in this tray, this is what we ended up with out of our acid. And then this tray is the gold that didn't get picked up the first time around. And you can see that there's not a lot of it. I don't think there's enough there to weigh, but we're going to try. But basically, that's all our gold. So let's grab the scale, see how we did. Okay, here's our first cleanup. That's 1.69 grams, and then our second little cleanup takes it to 1.75 grams. Well, that makes our total for the year 97.48 grams, which comes out to 3 ounces, right around 2.5 pennyweights. Not a great year, not a bad year. I'm okay with it. And you got to remember, we got 3 pounds of lead out of the system too, so I'm saying it's a win-win. Now, as far as the high points of this year, my largest nugget was a little over 6 grams, just a hair under a 1/4 ounce, so that was my biggest piece of this year. And then I'm kind of waffling around on my best day as far as just up in the hills mining. And I'm going to have to go with my trip with my daughter Emily. I do not get to see my daughter a whole lot these days because she's in the military and she's stationed down in San Diego. So getting to spend a day with her up in the hills detecting, it was a great day. I had fun. But closely following behind that is Tim's Dig this year. I got to meet a bunch of my subscribers, meet some super nice people. It was just a great day. I can't wait till next year. And also, I got my LBPA coin on that day too. So it was a good day. Okay, what we got coming for this year. Now, I'm gonna try to work less. I'm really gonna give it an effort because I want to spend more time in the hills. I've got some projects lined up that are going to be really cool projects, but I'm not going to talk about them because every time I do, it seems like something happens and I don't get to do them. But I got some cool projects lined up for this year. And I'm hoping to spend a lot more time out meeting subscribers this year because I really enjoy that. Now I'm thinking that this year we might have a pretty good year because we've had some storms, we've had quite a bit of rain, we haven't had any big major floods or anything, but the rivers have been up a lot. And I know gold's being moved around. We're not going to get or at least so far, we're not going to get the 100-year flood and that kind of stuff. But I know at least the flood gold is being moved around. And it's been at least 2 or 3 years since we've had that. Okay, well, the last thing I want to cover is I want to thank all of you, my subscribers, my supporters, of making this a great year. Like I've always said, I've really been blessed by the fact that I've had the opportunity to learn how to prospect from some unbelievable miners who are pretty much all gone now. And it's my obligation to pass on that knowledge. And in this modern era with YouTube and digital cameras and everything else, it allowed me to reach a lot more people than could have, like, you know, like them. You only get to teach, you know, a couple, three people in your life, and that makes spreading the knowledge pretty thin. So this is pretty cool that we can reach so many people. Okay, well, that's pretty much all I got. Once again, I want to thank each and every one of you, and I hope you have this year is your greatest year ever. And I hope to meet a good chunk of you on the river this year. Until then, I'm out of here, and I'll see you in the next video.